That was a what the F was that performance yesterday. We saw it going on while we were on the air, and we just near the end when Michigan had one field goal in the second half with 2 minutes to go. I mean, simply put, this Michigan team did not look like a very well-coached basketball team. They didn't. There's too much talent. Offensive rebounding, boxing out. Much of this season felt like it was atrocious. That free throw rebound yesterday was awful. Plays out of timeouts were completely ineffective. Under pressure when it was cranked up, this team just didn't work. And much of this goes back to the head coach that has to answer to it. And look, if you look at the totality of Juwan Howard's work, there's good and there's bad. But that was a disturbing performance. And it even really didn't come down to yesterday. It came down to, not closing out games that they had leads earlier in the year where had they won half those games, they'd have enough quad one wins that yesterday really wouldn't have mattered. But it's a major disappointment. And I think Juwan Howard needs to go back to the drawing board a little bit with his staff or with his, the athletic director. I wonder, if Ward Manuel will sit down and say to him, hey, what's the plan here? Because there's too much talent for this team to be missing the NCAA tournament. Now, on the positive with Juwan Howard, a couple of years ago, he was the college basketball coach of the year. He won a Big Ten title. In his time at Michigan, he is the only coach in the Big Ten with an above 500 record in March Madness. He has more than twice as many wins as any other Big Ten coach in the NCAA tournament in his tenure at Michigan. And I'm looking and saying, all right, does he not know how to get the most out of his team defensively? 2 years ago, Michigan led the Big Ten in opposing field goal percentage. There's been some stuff there that feels like it's foundation for a solid program. But they got to figure something out.
Well, I think all that stuff says he deserves to be here for another year.
Yes, I would agree.
And deserves to have that chance. However, I think he's on notice. And I'm not, I always use the heated seat reference to compare. Like if you start to turn the heated seat on, you got 3 levels. Do I turn it on level 1 at this point? I don't think so. But what I'm noticing is it's getting cold. And they may have to turn the heated seat on at some point if they don't correct themselves. He recruited a real nice class, and they brought in players they thought were going to help out. They were able to keep players there at the program, and they're missing the NCAA tournament.
Yep,
more than likely. I mean, barring some miracle, but I have a
hard
hard time believing that a 17 and 15 team is going to get in. But it's been a horrible year, and then you say, okay, well, do they have a bright future at all? Well, if their best players leave for the draft and they don't have a great recruiting class coming in, then it's kind of hard to feel that way unless guys stick around.
Yeah, it's undetermined because of the portal. You never know what you're going to get out of the
portal.
Well,
the portal is huge, but also if you can get Bufkin to stick around for another year, that would be huge.
Yeah,
right?
I've been hearing 50-50 on that. The thing is, you think about last year, right? He had 2 one-and-dones, Moussa Diabate and Caleb Houston. They didn't have a massive impact at the collegiate level.
No, they didn't.
But they go to the draft. There's either one of 2 things here. It's the coach not getting the most out of these one-and-dones, or the coaching staff not getting the most out of the one-and-dones, or they're kind of threading that needle where they're getting the one-and-dones, but they're not the major impact one-and-dones. They're these guys that, as you put it yesterday, first-round picks that average 10 and 6, where it just feels like
Jet Howard had a pretty good season.
Very good offensively at times.
Then he got hurt.
And defensively, I mean, I think Michigan fans will tell you he's one of the more frustrating players they've had in a while, but he's wildly talented and has a lot of learning to do on that end of the floor that needs to be emphasized and taught. And if he comes back, they need to get more out of them. They need to show improvement. And who knows who's coming back? Who knows who's coming back, and who knows what the portal may hold? But it was a frustrating season that I mentioned yesterday might mercifully be coming to an end.